The Akita Prefecture on Honshu in Japan is a beautiful part of the country. Natural hot springs around Lake Tazawa draw visitors from far and wide. Traditional rural Japan is showcased in some of the villages, including some preserved samurai houses. Seasonal festivals bring the place alive, and the rich and diverse culture is on display for all to see. It is an idyllic place to live, but living in the rurals amongst nature does have its dangers. The region is home to both brown bears and Japanese black bears. Both can be dangerous and should be respected. Although the Japanese bear measures just 1 meter from nose to tail, it is still deadly when it wants to be, and even seasoned hunters steer clear of them. The Japanese black bear is a subspecies of the Asiatic black bear, and there are thought to be around 10,000 on Japan's main islands of Honshu and Shikoku. The first tragedy occurred on May 21, 2016. The body of a man was found in the undergrowth in the foothills of the mountains of Kazuno City. It was stumbled upon by a local who was foraging in the countryside. It was a popular place to pick bamboo shoots. The man, in his 70s, lay face down in the dirt. The injuries to his body were reminiscent of a bear attack. Deep cuts and gouges on his torso, a bite to his head, and torn clothing. The attack would have been brutal. Perhaps a mother had been startled as she herself had been foraging for food for her cubs. Maybe it was a defensive attack. Nobody knew for sure. It was a terrible loss for the man's family, but people thought that it was just a horrible tragedy, a one-off, and a freak accident. But there was more to come. Just days later, another body was found, this time the body of a local man in his 60s. He too had been picking bamboo shoots near his home in the mountains when a bear had launched an attack. His injuries were similar to the first victim, and authorities warned people to remain vigilant. Locals began to think that there was a dangerous animal on the loose that was deliberately hunting people. Their suspicions were confirmed when yet another man, this time in his 70s, was the third to succumb to a brutal and deadly attack. Each of the 3 attacks happened within 2 kilometers of each other, but there had never been any witnesses. The bodies were covered in claw marks and bites, but nobody knew why the local people were being targeted. Had the bear tasted human flesh and now knew that they were easy prey? By now, people were on high alert, but they still needed to go about their everyday lives. For many in the prefecture, living off the land was a way of life. Foraging for food in the wilds was a common activity that helped provide for the family. Hearing these terrible stories, however tragic, wasn't going to stop them from wandering out into the surrounding wilderness. Sua Suzuki was a 74-year-old woman who lived in the neighboring prefecture of Aomori. News of the devastating bear attacks hadn't reached her yet, or if they had, they didn't stop her from venturing outside. The likelihood of being attacked by a bear was so unlikely despite the sudden rise in attacks. Usually, human-bear encounters happen when there are food shortages and the bears venture outside their habitat in search of something to eat. They become bold as they scour neighborhoods or are drawn by the smells from garbage cans, open kitchen windows, or animals and vegetables grown in farmyards. But this particular year, the opposite was true. The favorable weather and climatic conditions had resulted in an exceptional beech nut harvest, which meant that the bears had plenty to eat. There was a much higher survival rate amongst the bear cubs than usual, as the mothers were able to provide for them and a greater percentage of cubs were making it to maturity. It seemed the bear population was growing. In fact, just halfway through the year, by June, there had been 1,200 bear sightings, which was already more than double the total sightings the previous year. Attacks were incredibly rare. Over the previous 37 years, there had been 8 deaths caused by bears in the same region, but now Sua Suzuki was about to become the 4th in a single year. On June 10th, she left her home carrying a basket. She walked amongst the surrounding mountains in search of edible wild plants. Quietly, she worked, bending down every so often to pluck the herbs and flowers from the forest floor. She also collected bamboo shoots, spotting the small yellow tips protruding through the dirt before digging them out of the ground. The warm summer air filled the forest. The sunlight shone through the leaves and danced on the ground. The sounds of nature filled Sua's ears as she foraged quite happily, just like she had done for years. But this time, she was being watched. A black bear was stalking her. Although small in stature itself, it was now a mature cub and had tasted human flesh. It knew how to take down a human. Slowly, it crept closer to the unsuspecting woman concealed by the trees. It approached her from behind, out of her line of sight. It fixed its eyes on her, and the next time she bent down to pull up a bamboo shoot, it decided to charge. It covered the distance between them in less than a few seconds. Sua turned around just in time to see a flash of black fur as the bear rushed at her. It leapt on top of her, and she was pinned to the ground. As it bit into her face, her screams for help went unanswered, her desperate cries swallowed by the rustling breeze through the trees. The bear tore at her skin, shaking its head from side to side. It used its powerful front paws to swipe its victim, hitting her on the ribs and on the head, disorienting her and battering her until she lay still. The bear had taken its fourth victim. It was on a rampage. Sua's mangled body was found when she failed to return home. She was so severely mauled that she was unidentifiable at first, and to know that she had passed away alone and in desperate need of help only intensified the loss. As news of the terrible attack spread, a local hunter set out that same day to find the bear. When a female black bear was suspected to be the culprit, he shot the first female black bear he saw, and she fell to the ground. An autopsy was conducted by the Akita Prefecture police, and the bear had human remains and a large amount of bamboo shoots inside its stomach. She was responsible for at least some of the attacks, if not all of them. For some people, it brought back memories of a terrifying attack that happened in 1915. A male brown bear attacked the former Sankabetsu village. It began its spree on the 9th of December, targeting a single household, dragging the mother out into the woods as she tried to protect her baby, and it came back every night for more, visiting other houses in the small community, terrorizing and taunting the villagers, breaking in through windows to steal children from their beds. It continued its reign of terror for 6 nights until December 15th, when it finally fell to a bullet. But Japanese bear experts explain that while brown bears are notoriously aggressive when defending young or food sources, black bears are less so, and even seeing one is considered rare in Japan. Marks on Sua's body suggested that more than one bear had been responsible. Some believe that a mother bear and her cub had attacked her, a very dangerous behavior for a cub to learn from its mother. In the United States, cubs are often euthanized if they witness their mothers attacking people because they invariably learn that behavior and grow up to become problem bears themselves. It is not known what happened to the sow's cubs or if they were even there at the time of the attacks, but following her death, the attacks stopped for now. The villagers are still shaken from the spree of attacks. Terrified, another bear will continue hunting villagers, bringing more innocent people to their terrifying final affliction.